In this video, we are going to look at graphing linear inequalities on an xy coordinate plane. Now, all we have are very basic graphing skills at this point, so that's all we're going to use. Here's an example. Y is less than 1/2 x plus 3. All right, so we're going to graph this inequality. What I'm first going to do is graph the line. So we're going to pretend that it says y equals 1/2 x plus 3 to start with. All right, so we pick some points and plot those. So when x is 0, then y is going to be 3. 0 is always a good thing to pick for x. All right, well, let's let x be -4. When x is -4, then this becomes -2. -2 plus 3 is 1. When x is 2, then this becomes 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. So I'm going to plot these 3 points. They make my line. All right. 0, 3. Now you, of course, will use graph paper. It's easier to use graph paper. -4, 1, 2, 4. All right, so here's my line. Now, when I graph my line, I have to look at the inequality sign to see whether or not it says less than or less than or equal to. You see, less than or equal to, the equal implies that this is going to be a solid line. But when the equal sign is absent, it's just going to be a dashed line. So this is going to be a dashed line because there is no equal sign in this problem. So there's my line. Now, inequalities have shading with them. So because there are more points, there are points in this area that will make this true. And the way to find those points is to pick a point that's not on my line, put it into the inequality, and see if it makes the inequality true. I'm going to pick the point 0, 0. So let's pick 0, 0. And let's see if it makes this true. So 0 is less than 1/2 times 0 plus 3. Is that true? Well, 0 is less than 3. Yes, that's true. This means that I shade all of this area underneath the dashed line. All of these points in the shaded region are solutions to this inequality. All right, let's do another one. Let's say y is greater than or equal to -3x minus 1. All right, so first we're going to pretend that this says y equals -3x minus 1, and we're going to graph that line. So let's pick some points, x, y. When x is 0, y is -1. When x is 1, y is -4. And when x is -2, then this becomes 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. So let's graph these points. All right, 0, -1, 1, -4, and -2, 5. It's so much easier to graph on graph paper. All right, well, that's pretty close there. Now, when I connect these dots, this time we have an equal sign with our inequality. Equal means that I'm going to have a solid line here. All right, so here's my line. Now, in order to determine what side of that line is shaded, I need to pick a point that's not on the line. Here again, let's pick 0, 0. It's not on the line, and see if it makes this true. So pick 0, 0, put it into the inequality, and let's see if that's true. Well, is 0 greater than or equal to -1? Yes, it is. So I'm going to shade the side that contains the point 0, 0. That's all of this over here. Now, every point in this shaded region is a solution to the inequality, but also every point on the line is a solution because it's a solid line. All right, another one. Sometimes your lines aren't solved for y. Here's a line equation that is not solved for y. 3x minus 4y is greater than negative 9. Now, in order to graph this line, I'm going to solve it for y. You don't have to, but that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to move the 3x over, and then I get negative 4y is greater than negative 3x minus 9. And now I'm going to divide by negative 4. Now remember that when you divide by a negative number with an inequality sign, you always flip the sign. So this becomes y is less than, and then the negative signs cancel here, 3/4 x plus 9/4. All right, so this is my line that I'm going to graph. I'll pick my points. You can just pick any x's that you want. Now, this one has fractions in it. I'm going to pick x as 1 because when x is 1, this is 3/4 plus 9/4, which is 12/4, and 12/4 is really just 3. So that's a nice, pretty point. All right, so let's pick, what if we pick negative 4? What happens? Well, those cancel and I get negative 3, but then I've got plus this 9/4. 9/4 is really 2 1/4. So negative 3 plus 2 1/4 is really negative 3/4. All right. And let's pick one more. We could pick, let's pick negative 1. So when x is negative 1, we've got negative 3/4 plus 9/4, which is 6/4, and 6/4 is 1 1/2. So these are not as pretty for points as some of my others, but they work just fine. All right, so the point 1, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. Negative 4, negative 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then negative 3/4 is not quite at negative 1, so maybe about right there. And then negative 1, 1 1/2. 1 1/2. All right, so here are my points. This time we just have, you see, the greater than originally, the less than right here. No equal sign, so this is going to be another dashed line. All right, so make our dashed line through these points. Okay. And then we have to pick a point not on the line to determine which side to shade. The 0, 0 is not on the line. I always pick 0, 0 when I can because it's just so easy to work with 0. Put 0 in, so 0 is less than 0 plus 9/4. Is that true? Well, yes, 0 is less than 9/4. So we're going to shade the side with 0, 0 on it. All of these points are solutions to this inequality, which, by the way, is the same as this inequality since we did our math correctly. But the points on the line are not solutions to the inequality. All right, one last one, and this will be two inequalities graphed on the same coordinate plane. So one will say y is less than 2 and x is greater than negative y. All right, well, we don't need to plot points or pick points necessarily for the y is less than 2 because where are all the points where y is 2? Well, this is a point where y is 2. Here's another point where y is 2. Here's another point where y is 2. You see, y is 2 for all of the points on this horizontal line. So when I graph my line, then this is a dashed line. Oops. All right, now, let's do this. Let's make this x is greater than or equal to negative y. Let's just do that because we can. All right, so y is less than 2. I have to shade this. All right, well, all of the y's less than 2 are down here. So I'm going to shade this. Now, since I'm graphing two inequalities on one coordinate plane, then I'm going to pick a different color to do this one. So x is greater than or equal to negative y. I can pick some x's and y's to help me with this. All right, you might want to solve that for y. Remember, when you solve that for y, you're going to multiply both sides by that -1, which is going to flip the sign. So you're going to have negative x is less than or equal to y, or we can read it starting with y. Y is greater than or equal to negative x. All right, so let's say x is 0. Well, when x is 0, y is 0. When x is 2, y is negative 2. When x is negative 3, y is positive 3. So when I graph these points, here's 0, 0, 2, negative 2, negative 3, 3, and then when I draw my line, this time it will be a solid line because it is y is greater than or equal to negative x. So here is my line. It's a little bit hard to do this without graph paper, but it does go through 0, 0. So when I want to shade this line, I can't use the point 0, 0 to figure out which side gets shaded. I'm going to use the point 1, 1. All right, so we're going to put 1, 1 into this. Negative 1 is less than or equal to 1. Is that true? Yes, that is true. So we are going to shade this area of the purple line. Well, which points are solutions to this system, which is y is less than 2 and x is greater than or equal to negative y? The and means the points that are solutions are in both shaded regions. So that would mean that the solution points are actually in this area right here. They're not over here in this shaded area, and they're not over here, but they're where both lines are shaded. All of these are points to both solutions, as well as the points on the solid line up to here. They are all solutions to that system.